This video covers the top 5 writing problems many people encounter. You can use this as a reminder before you start writing or as a checklist after you're done. As a teacher, student, and tutor for most of my life, these are the biggest mistakes I have noticed when grading writing assignments. The common problems are formatting, spelling, grammar, content, and organization errors. Each segment will go into more detail on these problems. I hope this helps you become a better writer. Formatting is the first category and probably the easiest category to fix quickly for better success on writing assignments. Once you start your writing assignment, it should be indented. The first line of each paragraph should be indented too. According to the MLA Writing Handbook, this indentation should be 5 spaces. You can do this by pressing Tab once. Another common mistake is alignment. The text of your essay should be lined up evenly at the left margin, but not at the right margin. In your word processor, choose Align Left. This is how you would do it in Google Docs, for example. A third common mistake for formatting is font type and size. Your essay should be typed in 12-point Times New Roman font. Times New Roman is a very clear font and has been the go-to font for essays for years. It has also been the default font on many word processing programs. Another popular font is Arial, but I would follow the rubric used in your class because teachers and professors have their own preferences. A fourth common formatting problem is that many writers don't double space their lines. Your entire essay should be double spaced, with no single spacing anywhere and no extra spacing anywhere. There should be no extra spaces between paragraphs either. The second type of mistake encountered in essays is spelling mistakes. Make sure to check for common spelling mistakes. For example, many people get there are, and they're confused. There is usually used for places and is the opposite of the word here. And there is for people and means belongs to them. They are, contracted there, is a contraction word and means they are. Another common mistake is our or are. Some writers also forget the differences between your, and you are. And don't forget about to, and to. The last common one that I see a lot of is where and where. Speaking of the word a lot, remember it is 2 words and not 1. Another big one, especially in history classes, is affect versus effect. Remember, affect describes the action and is a verb, but effect describes the result of a noun. Spell check usually picks up mistakes, but these are the words that sometimes the spell checker doesn't catch based on the context of what you are writing. The third category of mistakes is grammar. One common grammar mistake to look out for is capitalization of people, places, and events. If these types of nouns come up, they are red flags. Countries, famous people, and historical events like the Civil War or World War II should be capitalized. Another is the use of proper transition words and to add variety to your papers with transitions. There are many lists on the internet with transition words to use based on the situation you are in. For example, do not always end a paper with in conclusion. You have many more options. Another common mistake is having run-on or fragment sentences. Generally speaking, avoid starting a sentence with and or because. These are red flags for fragment sentences. Also, run-ons can be avoided by using conjunction words such as and or but with a comma to link to complete sentences. Lastly, do not use slang or informal writing in your writing assignment. Use an academic voice. Avoid using you and I when writing a formal paper, and do not end your conclusion paragraph by saying something such as this: I hope you like my essay, have a good day. These are bad practices. The fourth type of problem are content mistakes. Do you have enough information to satisfy the reader? You must have enough information and detail to make your point. One way to do this is to make a cluster or an outline to make sure each point has enough citations and information. Also, are the citations in your writing assignment pulled from other sources? You need to follow the guidelines to cite your sources and give credit to the original author. If you do not do this, it is plagiarism. This is unethical and could lead to discipline or a failing grade. You could even be kicked out of your school for this unethical behavior. You do not want to copy an author's ideas word for word. If you do, you should give credit with a citation. Another problem is accuracy. Is the information you provided correct? Double check your sources. Make sure your sources are reliable. And finally, don't forget to be on topic and check the rubric and the writing prompt to make sure you followed the directions. The final type of mistake are organization mistakes in your paper. Make sure you read the writing prompt and the rubric your instructor has provided. It will clearly state how many paragraphs or other details on how to structure the written assignment correctly. A typical problem with organization of papers is that they do not have an introduction or conclusion. This is one of the first things many graders look for. Make sure you have a clear introductory sentence and conclusion. If it is a longer writing assignment, make sure you have an introductory paragraph and concluding paragraph. Another tip for organization is to make sure you have the correct number of paragraphs as stated in the instructions. Many students miss these easy points. Finally, make sure the paragraphs are structured from making a general statement and then giving supporting evidence for each point you make. It should flow from general to specific. So for example, if you're writing about cars, you can categorize it by American cars and then talk specifically about Cadillac, Ford, and Buick. Then logically, you would go into more detail and talk specifically about the types of Ford cars, Cadillacs, and Buicks. For Ford, for example, you would talk about Mustangs and the F-150 trucks. You should generally introduce your idea, then add supporting sentences to strengthen your argument. This video covered the top 5 writing problems many people encounter. Given these points, the common problems are formatting, spelling, grammar, content, and organization errors. I hope this video helped you. Please subscribe if you haven't already and share my content with someone who might find it useful. Also, don't forget to check out some of my other educational videos on my channel.